Well, hello, fabulous photographers. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, and thank you for joining our rebroadcast. Today, we're talking all about hashtags for photographers 101. So I have been talking about hashtags a lot here at KM Robinson Photography. We've been talking about Instagram a lot. We've been talking about how to use hashtags a lot. But I did get a question from Esther this week asking me specifically if I had a video about hashtags, because the rest of my hashtag content has been within the course of talking about Instagram, or talking about the shadow ban, or talking about fan question answers during our live Ask Me Anything sessions. Hey guys, thanks for showing up. Go ahead and leave me a comment below so I know who you are and what type of photography you do, so I can cater this directly to you and what you're doing within your brand. I can see that you're here. I just can't tell who you are until you comment. So leave me some love. Let me know who you are and what type of photography you do. Today we're talking about hashtags. So this is going to be just a very brief overview of hashtags, what type of hashtags you should be using, when you should be using them, where you should be using them. But I'm not going into huge amount of detail because I do have an Instagram course, and I do have a ton of information in this course all about hashtags, and I have to keep some of that exclusive to my students who take my course. So we will be doing the basics. We're going to be doing 101 today. So let's talk. What are hashtags? Well, hashtags are these nifty little things. They've got the pound sign. That's kind of like the international symbol in photos for a hashtag. Use the pound sign or the hashtag sign, and use these on social media. And through hashtags, people can click on hashtags, and it will take them over to a running feed of hashtags. And anybody who has used this hashtag will be within this feed. So if you are on Instagram and you tag your photo with a hashtag, if you click on that and go over to that, you're going to see everything that people have posted about that hashtag. And specifically on Instagram, when you do that, they're going to have the most popular ones up at the top, and then they're going to have a running feed of things in chronological time. So hashtags are really important because this is how you get discovered on a lot of social media platforms. And I will say, the most important place and the most functional place to be using hashtags is on Instagram. Then you can be using it on Twitter. That is how people find things that are going on Twitter. It is not as functional on Facebook. People sometimes use them, but it is not something that people go to Facebook for. And when they see them on Facebook, they don't necessarily know to click, or they just simply don't, because it's not really part of the platform. So I'm going to suggest to you that you are not using hashtags on Facebook because they're not valuable, they're not effective, and they're not helping you. They clutter it, and it kind of makes it look like one of the other platforms, which indicates to people that you spend more time on another platform. So don't use them on Facebook. Definitely use them on Instagram. All the time use them on Instagram. And frequently you should be using them on Twitter as well. But Twitter is not going to be your biggest platform as a photographer. It doesn't matter what type of photography you do, it's not going to be your biggest one. Instagram and Facebook, those are your big two. So hashtags are a way to connect photos, connect posts, connect images so that people can find things that they are looking for. So you as a photographer are going to be using these to get people to find your business and potentially book with you. Why should photographers be using these hashtags? Exactly because of what I just said. This is how people will be finding you, especially on Instagram. Now, I've heard from photographers, they've been getting some weird information. People are saying Instagram is not a place for photographers. Guys, Instagram is the place for photographers. It's all about photos. It's all about your images. And whoever's telling you it's not for photographers is wrong. Don't listen to them. Come hang out with me. I got you. Instagram is going to be very, very helpful to you. And you need to be using hashtags because this is the way most people are going to be finding you. Because on Instagram, yes, they can search for you, but they have to search for you. If they just go and type in local photographer, that's not going to help them. That's like a Google search thing. But if they're searching for a photographer and they use the appropriate hashtags, they will find you. And if you are not using those hashtags, they aren't going to find you. So you've got to be smart enough to use these hashtags. So hashtags are incredibly valuable because it helps new people who do not already know you to learn more about you. Pro tip here, if you have not seen my videos on the shadow ban on Instagram, check those out. Very, very important, because you could be using a banned hashtag, or you could be doing something that gets you shadow banned, and then people won't be able to find you in the hashtag feed, and that's a bad thing. So make sure you check out the hashtag. Hashtag, make sure you check out the shadow ban video. There we go. So when should photographers be using hashtags? Well, this is actually a really good question. When should photographers be using them? You should be using them anytime you can make a connection with people. So what type of photography do you do? Sound off in those comments and let me know what type of photography you do, because I'm going to speak specifically to those of you who are here with me live. Photography and hashtags are so important to your business and brand. You should be using them every chance you get, and you should be using them to connect with people on a local level, because most of you here are going to be local photographers. There may be some of you who hang out with me who are maybe fine art photographers, and you sell to galleries and you sell your artwork for a living, and that's awesome. You are going to use slightly different hashtags than other photographers. So when should you be using hashtags? You should be using them to connect with people, and you need to be using them every single time you post on Instagram. You should also be using them every single time you post on Twitter, assuming it's business related. If you are just kind of chatting on Twitter, you do not need to be using hashtags. If you are talking about something that people could potentially find you as a business person, you should be using hashtags. And we're going to get to which hashtags in a minute. On Facebook, don't use hashtags. Very rarely use hashtags if you insist on using hashtags, but it is not something that is functional on Facebook, because it's just not part of the nature of Facebook. Yes, they do allow you to do it. Yes, you do have the opportunity to do it, but when have you ever gone on Facebook and followed a hashtag? It's just not part of the culture. Don't do it on Facebook. It just makes you look a little bit unaware of what's going on. So let's talk specifically about which hashtags you should be using. And this is why you all are here today. I know. You want to know which hashtags to use. And this is where the basic part of this comes in, because I do have a ton of information on hashtags, but most of that is within my course, and I do have to keep that exclusive to my course, to those students who go through that particular course. So heads up, if you want information on that course, if you want to get on my wait list, send me a direct message. I will put you on the wait list. It is coming out in the next month or so. I only release it a couple of times a year, and it is everything you need about Instagram as a photographer. We go through everything from getting your profile ready to make it really effective, to the links you're using, to how you're posting, to when you're posting, to what you're saying, to just everything about Instagram. And heads up, we talk about engagement rate. Engagement rate is really high on, or really important in especially Instagram, but also Facebook and Twitter because of the algorithms. And just a general FYI, I sit around a 500 to 700% engagement rate on Instagram, whereas most people sit below 60%. So, fun times. If you want to get on that wait list, DM me. I'll get you on the wait list. Which hashtags are you using as a photographer? And I am talking too much, so I'm going to grab some water. Which hashtags should you be using as a photographer? Well, now a lot of people are going to think of the most common ones for photography, right? So they're going to do something like hashtag photography, hashtag photographer, hashtag wedding photographer, hashtag family photographer, hashtag senior photographer, and they're all well and good, but you have to remember, who do those get searched by? Who is looking on photography? Who is looking on senior photographer? Who is looking on wedding photography? Reality check. Most of the time, it's not going to be your clients. It's going to be other photographers. We're getting inspiration. We're connecting. We're making connections and business collaborations with people through these hashtags. But our clients, our potential new clients, are not searching for these things in the majority of these situations here. So yes, you should be using them, but they are not your priority. Those are your secondary hashtags. Now, pro tip here. When you are posting, specifically on Instagram, I'm going to kind of go from this on an Instagram mindset here. When you're posting on Instagram, you are allowed 30 hashtags. That is a 3 with a 0. And you can put them in the caption of your post, or you can put them in the comments of your post. Some people will try to be sleazy and put 30 in the caption and 30 in the comments. That's sleazy. Don't do it. Okay? Obey Instagram's rules. They say 30. Don't be slimy. So you can put up to 30 in your comments. You do not have to use all 30, but I would recommend around 5 to 10 is a really good number. But if you have a good cache of hashtags, go ahead and use up to 30. That's totally cool. And again, see the video about shadow ban, because if you are copy and pasting, that could get you shadow banned. So you want to make sure that you know what the shadow ban is and how to avoid it. So watch the video on the shadow ban. In fact, if you go to resources.camrobinsonphotography.com and type in shadow ban, that'll bring up information about the shadow ban. You can easily find it there, or on my YouTube channel. So with your hashtag, you're going to have up to 30 hashtags, and you want to use the most important first. So what is the most important hashtag? Well, it's not going to be photography. It's not going to be hashtag wedding photographer, although it might be for wedding photographer. And we'll get to that in a second. It's not going to be hashtag senior photography. It's not going to be those things. What is going to be most valuable to you as a local-based photographer? It is going to be your local tags. So this is your town, your city, your area. This is going to be anything that is connected to your town or city or area. So if you have an event coming up in your town and you are working it, or you're connected to it, or you want to promote it, you will hashtag that event. If you are trying to get people in your local area to find you, you're going to hashtag your town. But if your town is known for something, or if they have some kind of fun, trendy little hashtag, use that. And use as many local ones as possible. Now, here's a pro tip for you. Just because you work in your town does not mean you are limited to using your town. Use the surrounding towns and cities. So I am in a small town. I'm a small town girl here. And if I hashtag my small town, yes, my small town will see it, but only my small town will see it. However, if I hashtag the bigger cities and towns around me, now all of the area is going to see me. And I'm not talking like far out. I would not hashtag Philadelphia when I live near Scranton. Okay, that's a 3-hour drive. I am not hashtagging Philadelphia. I'm not hashtagging New York City. Those are hours away. I am tagging people within driving distance. So anywhere within a radius of about an hour, totally good for you to hashtag. And you actually want to hashtag where your clients are from. So let's just say you are a small town person, but most of your clients are going to be from the big city 40 minutes away. Focus on them. Focus on those people. Focus on those tags. What's going on in that area? What's happening over there? What hashtags do they have for their events, for their town, for their stuff, whatever? Hashtag those. You want to make sure that you are very, very careful to be working on local hashtags first. And then you can tack on hashtag senior photographer or hashtag wedding photographer. You want to make sure that you know what's out there, and you also want to connect with people on that industry level, but you do not want to prioritize that because those people are not your clients. They are your friends, they are your coworkers, they are your collaborators, they are people you are teaming up with and talking with and doing industry luncheons with, but they are not your clients. Prioritize your clients. Who needs to find you first? And Dana is saying very useful info. I'm glad, thank you. Yeah, use the local-based hashtags first. Those are definitely the most important. And then you can jump into using your industry hashtags. And remember, you have 30. Mix them up. Use different ones different times. If you have local events, focus on those. But you're not going to carry those through when those events aren't taking place, right? So like, for example, we had a steampunk event in my town. I do not know if we had a hashtag because I did not look that up. Actually, I think we did. I feel like I looked it up that day. It was like a month ago. I don't know. And I think we had a hashtag for it. I would use that. I would say, hey, I'm going to this event today, or hey, I'm going to this event next week. Who's coming? Hey, I'm taking photos at this event. Who wants to hang out? And I would use that as a method to talk to people and get in front of people. So focus on your local, then deal with your industry. Okay. Like I said, we do have a course coming out next month all about Instagram for photographers. If you want to get on the wait list for that, it is going to be, we're going to have a free masterclass webinar all about it, which is then going to lead into our course all about Instagram. We may even do a challenge. I'm not sure yet. I'm still figuring things out. I do things differently every time because I like to kind of spice things up so it's not always the same. But if you want to get on the wait list for that, go ahead and send me a direct message. I will get you on that wait list and then get you info. If you have questions about social media marketing strategy, go ahead and hit me up in the comments below. What do you need to learn about? What do you need a little help with? What are you unsure about? What do you want to see more videos and tutorials on? Let me know in the comments or send me a direct message or an email. And as always, you can hit me up on kmrobinsonphotography.com where we're putting all of these resources. You can also go to resources.kmrobinsonphotography.com to find those. We've got a really great YouTube channel. We're doing live broadcasts and all sorts of Q&A time. We will be doing a live Ask Me Anything soon. So if you have questions for me, go ahead and start direct messaging me those questions because we are going to be doing an AMA where I'm going to pop on and answer your most burning social media questions about Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Periscope, YouTube, your Pinterest page, your blog, your newsletter, your website. We're going to talk about all of that. So if you have questions, hit me up so that I know and I can prioritize your questions because I prioritize what I get beforehand. So let me know what you want to know about. I will help you out. You can also come hang out with me on social media at KM Robinson Photography on Facebook and Instagram. I am always there hanging out with you guys, answering questions and chatting, so I would love to see you there. I am KM Robinson, social media marketing strategist here at KM Robinson Photography and over at Reading Transforms, where I'm educating authors on the same thing and helping them get on the New York Times bestselling list and other bestsellers. And I want to hang out with you guys, so let me know what you want to learn more about, and we will get that taken care of for you guys. If you have more questions about hashtags, go ahead, leave those in the comments below, whether you are watching our rebroadcast or you are watching our live here. We will get those answered for you as best we can, assuming we don't encroach on the info over in my course, which is exclusive to my awesome students over there. So I will do the best that I can do and give you the basic 101 info on hashtags. You guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you next time. Stay inspired.